Manchester United have just beaten Wolves 1-0 thanks to a Marcus Rashford winner in the 76th minute. There were some big surprises in this game, starting with Wolves not just sitting deep, but pressing us high and keeping possession as much as possible. Also, Manchester United's midfield, which has been our strongest part this season, arguably, really struggled in this game. And the final surprise was Marcus Rashford was dropped from the starting spot for internal disciplinary issues. That was a big call from Ten Hag. But at the end, Rashford came on in the second half and won United the game. Now, before we get into the analysis, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're on the road to 2,000 subs, and I know you guys can get me there. Let's get into it. So Man United tried to play in their normal 3-3-1-3 in possession as it's set up here, but Wolves were surprisingly pressing really high with Diego Costa, Hwang Hee-chan, Podence, and Moutinho. And because of this, naturally, Shaw, Eriksen, and Varane were all pushed deeper into their own half. The wingbacks had to come help to close the gap between defense and midfield, and this meant that there were big spaces left and behind in midfield that Eriksen had to go and cover naturally. So he couldn't play this quarterback role that he usually plays to find passes to Garnacho, Martial, Antony, and Bruno, but he had to step into midfield himself. And this also meant that we were losing the ball in the build-up quite often, which made it harder for us to progress the ball. And it shook us off our natural rhythm, and we had to play a different style than we were used to against Burnley and Forest in the last two games. So great tactic from Lopetegui to press us high and throw us off our game. And I'm sure many teams moving forward will deploy this tactic as well, because the 3-3-1-3 is very successful for us and gives us a lot of room to do a lot of good things. So the United midfield really struggled to get into the game today. Normally we have Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes linking up the play all throughout the pitch to make things happen. And there were two reasons why they struggled. First was Wolves' high press, with Hwang Hee-chan, Diego Costa, Podence, and Moutinho usually pressing high. Eriksen, Casemiro, and Fernandes all had less space and time on the ball to make something happen, to play through Wolves, right? So they were really hurried on the ball whenever they got it. The second reason was that the wide men were often dropping into midfield when the ball was in Wolves' half, right? So there were 5 players in midfield they had to play through, and a compact and tight back line of Semedo, Collins, Kilman, and Bueno. Normally, Eriksen will double up on the left-hand side, and Bruno will also work in this area to try to create overloads in these areas, right here. But because Wolves had 3-4 players always available to defend in those areas, they didn't really get space there either. So the midfielders were really ineffective on the ball, and this again is credit to Lopetegui's tactics, because normally you see Wolves just sitting deep and not offering anything on the counter, but because they pressed high and sat deep when the ball was in their half, this made it really difficult and took United out of their regular rhythm, and the midfielders really struggled as a result. I thought Erik Ten Hag's reading of this game was spot on, because he took off Eriksen for Fred in the 60th minute. Eriksen tends to strive in games where we have high possession and he can get on the ball a lot and spray passes to the left and the right flanks. But in this game, obviously, he wasn't allowed to do that by Lopetegui and Wolves. And in that moment, what we needed was some energy and some hustle in midfield, and also try to stop Wolves midfielders from getting on the ball so much, right? Give them less time and space on the ball. And Fred was perfect for that. So I thought this change impacted the game very positively and also contributed to us getting the goal that Rashford got. From a Man United perspective, I thought a big negative was Antony's performance today. Lots of sloppy passes from him. I felt like he couldn't find Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the overlap, and the passes he played to midfielders around him, like Fernandes, Casemiro, and even Martial at times, felt like they were short. He didn't have the right weight of pass on them. 0 dribbles completed, 71% pass accuracy, and only 3 progressive passes. I don't think this is how he played at Ajax, right? He took care of the ball a lot better. He got involved in the build-up play a lot more, and he was a bit less predictable as well. He's always trying to cut in, trying to do this, and instead of going on the overlap. So I'm disappointed, because I have high expectations from him. When Rashford came through our academy, when Martial was young playing for us, We criticize them equally, so why can't we criticize Antony? Of course, it has to be constructive criticism, and it shouldn't turn into hate, and that's not what we're doing here. I actually saw some good things from him today. He made a pass to Bruno. He was on this side. Bruno was overlapping this way, and he made a nice pass around the left back to get it to Fernandez, who played it to Martial, and Martial's shot got blocked, unfortunately. But that was a really well-weighted pass, and he did the right thing at the right time. He also had a cross to the back post from this area here that Luke Shaw almost got at the end of and scored a goal from. Another good thing. The best thing that I saw from him, though, by far, was he actually used his right foot in the box. And this is what I've been crying out for since we signed him. Go down the touchline and either cut the ball back or play across. And he did that in the 75th minute. That might be the first time ever I've seen him use his right foot to do anything inside the box. So good to see that. I have high expectations from him. I have high belief in Erik ten Hag to get this right, because ultimately he decided that 90 million was worth it for Antony. So I believe in ten Hag, I believe in Antony, and I hope he will turn good for us. Our final talking point before getting into the man of the match for this game is Erik ten Hag, Marcus Rashford, and discipline in the Man United squad. Rashford was dropped for internal disciplinary reasons. We're not exactly sure what that is. We can only speculate. Could be a training ground bust-up. Could be him being late to the training ground. Could be him not listening to Ten Hag for a million different reasons. He was straight on in the second half for Garnacho. Got the winning goal for us in the 76th minute. He looked totally at it. You wouldn't even question that, he was dropped for discipline or something like that. You would just think maybe it's an injury and he could only play one half. Was this a masterclass from Erik ten Hag? I'm not really sure, because it was a big risky move to do something like this. Rashford is in cracking form, and players today, man, they can get bogged down by any number of different reasons. And Rashford has shown us this with, his form dipping under Mourinho at times, Oli at times, and obviously under Rangnick as well, where he downed tools at times. So it was a risky move from Ten Hag, but he has such a good spirit in the squad that it's always next man up. So Garnacho was hungry to take his spot anyways. And Rashford knows that if Garnacho got like 1 or 2 goals or an assist in the first half, then maybe his spot in the team is at jeopardy. Obviously, I don't think that would be the case. He would get minutes and he would probably start again. But the point is that Ten Hag has built a really good spirit in the squad. And it personally, for me, whether this was a right call or not, it's good to see that managers have some power over the players, right? We've seen a lot of player power FC over the last few years, and it's good to see Ten Hag laying down the law. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Because Wolves were pressing us really high and we didn't have as much possession as we did versus Forest and Burnley, our fullbacks had to defend a lot, and I was very impressed by both of their performances today. Wan-Bissaka had a goal-saving tackle in the 24th minute. Costa cut it back to Coutinho at the edge of the box, and Wan-Bissaka got in his way and blocked the shot. It could have easily been a goal. And Malacia was my man of the match today. An amazing tackle in the 80th minute to cut off the passing lane to the right winger, which was Adama, I believe. He was rock solid at the back, dealt with Adama really well, because there were a lot of combinations and a lot of dribbling going down the right-hand side once Adama came on. He wasn't incisive when attacking, and I would love to see his attacking game improve, but he keeps the ball really well, which is really crucial for a Ten Hag side. 75 touches, 85% pass accuracy, and 5 progressive passes in this game. My man of the match. De Gea also deserves an honorary mention for the 2 saves that he got in this game. 58th minute from the free kick that Neves took, that was going in the net. What an athletic and amazing save from De Gea. And the 94th minute as well from the corner, there's Raul Jimenez puts a header in, and it's a reaction save from De Gea. That could have gone anywhere, and we're glad to have a world-class keeper like David De Gea. So let me know what you guys think, who your man of the match was. Really quickly to touch on Wolves, I was really impressed by Lopetegui's tactics. I thought, given the players and the squad that he had, and that fact that this is his second game in charge, he made it really difficult for United to create anything and score anything on the back of a 3-0 victory against Forest. And they really lacked the quality in the final third. So even though their midfield was performed really well today, particularly Mateus Nunes and the left back Hugo Bueno, they couldn't really make anything happen with it, and they didn't look like a threat at any point in the game to score a goal. I think Bueno is one for the future. Looked very lively and energetic today. Good ball control, good decision making. Definitely one for the future. So let's see how he progresses. In closing thoughts, I'm really happy for United to pick up the 3 points and happy for Ten Hag to continue his winning run. It's important to win games like these when you're not playing well, and Ten Hag is building something really special because every player seems to be trying their best on the pitch, even though they can have bad games like Antony's been having for the last 2. We play against Bournemouth on Tuesday in 3 days again. Let's hope we can continue the winning run. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.